Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Here's Mythic Battles Pantheon Pandoras box. This is a beautiful, beautiful box. The lighting on this with the fire down here and your gods over here defending what's coming down, the lightning and the animals and this giant five-headed monster. It's just beautiful. This is one of the big box ones from Monolith. We'll take a look and see what is inside. First thing you're going to notice is a bag that you'll be utilizing once you get inside of it. And you're going to see a ton of miniatures. We will go through all this stuff with us. So let's go ahead and dive in and see what's inside of here. The first thing we'll do is we'll move some of this stuff out. You can just see gobs and gobs of things in here that you'll be able to utilize. It's just fantastic. So we'll go down to the bottom and we'll work our way up to the top. First things, let's get some of this Conan stuff out of the way. So what you're going to find here are the cards that you'll be utilizing in Conan. For the Hydra, the Centaurs, the Spartans, you're going to get the Hell Warriors, Ares, Hydra, the Amazons, Hydra. So you're going to get a lot of these I'll be able to utilize in Conan. You can get civilians, Corinthian skeletons. So you're going to get a lot of this stuff that can be added right into Conan. So if you're a Conan fan, this is going to be right up your alley. The one Titan that you're going to get is Atlas. You will not get the miniature for him. You get everything, the cards and the board. You can see right here, he is a beast. Fortune Nature, Mighty Throw, Block. Make an X dice for range 1 area. When Atlas is activated, the owner must decide whether or not to discard one additional card of any type they choose. Then each opposing player draws 1 card. He is a beast. I mean, he can soak up damage all day long. Once again, you don't get the miniature for him in the set. I'm going to go through these a little fast. If you want to pause and be able to see all the powers, that's fine. But I'm going to go through the monsters. This is a huge set. So Liason, Torment, Climb. You're going to have 2 powers over here. He's okay. Not one that can soak up a lot of damage. But he does have a pretty good rage attack that I like. You're going to have Sternoth the Gorgon. He does a Torment. Not the strongest one over here, but he's going to have some really, really good powers. I especially liked this one, the Petrify. It does take a couple Art of War cards to activate. We got Campe. That will be, I'm probably mispronouncing most of these. Can soak up a little bit more damage than normal. It's not affected by Torment or Mighty Throw, and he has a pretty good range attack that you can utilize over here. The Dragon, Initiative, Guard, and Block, soaks up quite a bit of damage. Enemy units in his Dragon's area cannot use their talents. That can be very cool to bring him in to utilize or neutralize some of the other more powerful guys. The Dragon of Thebes, that you're going to see here, Mighty Throw, Guard, and Block. The Dragon is destroyed, place a complete unit of Spartoia in that area. So you get some more people that will come out in the Sacred Spring as a pretty good power. Acronane, she's a gem collector, and Climb. You can see these tentacles like spider almost coming out of her is really cool. And she does have the giant spiders that activate with her, which are nice. Orion has a Mighty Throw, Block, and a Climb. He's a hunter, so you want to make sure you can reroll any blank results and attack against a monster. So that's pretty cool that he has. You got the Griffon, which I like, soaks up some damage. Initiative, Guard, and Block. And is always, he may retaliate without discarding an activation card. So that can be really, really nice to have. And the Greys, the Guardians of the Gorgon, not very tough at all, but they have some powers over here that will be able to utilize that. Then you're going to have the Lion, soaks up quite a bit of damage. He ignores the first wound caused by each attack, which is great. Like him quite a bit. Oh, and he also has the Lion's Words going on. A target cannot retaliate, so you can never retaliate against him. You have the Giant Python, soaks up quite a bit of damage. Enemy units cannot claim the gem that'll be there, which is pretty neat. The Phoenix was one of my favorites. I just like the way he looks, very cool. Out of the ashes that will come in the flames of the Phoenix, so you can do a pretty good attack right there. And Tidios, Rock and Roll, which is pretty cool. He's made out of rock. And he has the Sesame over here. Soaks up quite a bit of damage, but he can be pretty powerful here. At the start of his activation, we declare that he will rock and roll. Counts as both of his simple actions. He moves up to 2 areas, contain no units, or at least 1. He does not have to stop if he enters an area. He's finished, he makes a dice attack for the area, which is really cool. And you're going to see her in another set, the Mother of Monsters. Fairly good one here. Lyacon, Torment, Climb. If he destroys a unit, he regains up to 2 previously lost vitality, which is nice. So these are really good sets that you can go ahead and utilize. And these are the monsters. Let's take a look at these heroes that will be coming out. I'm going to butcher all these names. Bellephone, Monster Slayer, Bolster Guard, and she's going to be running the Pegasus, which is cool. I'm not even going to try that, but he has mobility and climb. Not a lot of damage he can soak up, but he does have poison daggers, which I like utilizing quite a bit. I've had fun with that. Sisyphus, and he has the rock. So very good attacks over here that can be utilized, but not going to soak up too much damage there. Orifice, the Lie of Orifice, which is pretty good. Enemy units in his surrounding must discard 1. Haven't played with him quite a bit. And you have Jason, my namesake, so I like him quite a bit. He does have good fortune, which is really good to use, and the Golden Fleece is great. So it allows him to draw 3 cards and not 2. So that's pretty cool if you're looking for something you need. He's going to have the challenge. Not a lot right here to soak up, but an owner places a challenge token on an enemy divinity anywhere on the board. He must refuse this token by discarding 1 Art of War. If he doesn't, then his power will activate. Medea, close protection, and she heals people, which is pretty nice, and she can stun. Hector, I like him quite a bit, especially with some of the Trojan captains that are in there, but he has the Wall of Troy. Pretty good hero in himself. Eurytus, he can rain arrows. If no enemy units are in his area, he makes 2 range 1+ attack at the same or different targets. That can be really cool if you utilize him correctly. Ceracops, at the start of his activation, if he's in the same area as a friendly divinity, he can search his own deck for an Art of War card. So he can help you get those out fairly good. Icarus, I've always liked his story. I remember his game for Nintendo, and it was totally silly, but I like it. But his evade maneuvers cost 0 Art of War. Be really helpful. You got Echo, who does this out. This is really neat. So all enemy units in her surrounding stuff are a 4-dice attack with an effective defense of 5. It's pretty neat. And you have Cersei. When she's recruited, her wolves are also recruited. She's in a different set with a different mold here. Euryton, if an enemy unit is activated, he can soak up quite a bit of damage here. Use force of attack. It may use its talents or powers. Oh, man. Hippolyta, close protection, phalanx leader, and she can draw 5 cards as the Queen of the Amazons. That's really, really neat. And then we're back to the start. And let's take a look at these gods. You're going to get quite a few in this set. Athena, and she is just bad to the bone. I liked her a lot. I've seen her used against me. Apollo is really neat. He does not walk this turn. He may make 2 range +1 attacks. He's great to set up on a rock or something and start shooting down. Aphrodite, every time a player wishes to attack, they must discard 1 Art of War. So you really need to utilize those Art of Wars if you're going to go up against her, because she's going to require those. Make a 7-dice range 2 area attack. So this could be a really good one. She's a phalanx leader, soaks up quite a bit of damage, and has multiple powers. Pan, this is a fun one. Makes an area attack anywhere on the board, ignoring obstacles. That can be very, very powerful. Soaks up a lot if you want to utilize Pan. Helios, he's a gem collector now. As we know, that can be very, very good. And his revealing light, I like at the start of his activation, and you look at every other player's hand. If any enemy units are in the same area, then our owner must discard 1 activation card for each unit. So if he's in an area with somebody, you wouldn't be able to utilize that to get rid of stuff. And you got Hermes, ignores all talents and powers that either modify his walk, run actions. So he's really good to get around the board if you're trying to steal something. Persephone, she has close protection, which can be really good. Use this power at the end of Persephone's activation, and then they suffer -1 movement. So if you're, getting these two kind of together can be really, really powerful. And so that's going to be the gods that are included in this one. Here are the cards that come in the game. You always get a French set that will be in it, and I'll try to get those out the best I can. In this set, you're going to get these divinity cards, and I'll go through what this is. This is a little bit new and a special rule that will be affiliated with just this that you can introduce. This rule can be introduced in any scenario. It says each divinity has a unique divinity card. You place it next to the dashboard during setup, and when your divinity absorbs one of those gems, Ophilis, place it on the lowest numbered empty space. When the first 2 spaces are full, the power becomes available. When our 3 or 4, both abilities become available. So you'll see one of these for each of the gods that are in here. And you can see some here for the Titans that will be included. This is only in this set. So if you want to use these divinity cards, you're going to need to get this set to do so. Now here's an optional rule that's included in here for the recruitment cards. The rule can be added to any scenario. Each recruitment card represents 1 unit. They'll only use while recruiting armies. Before you start, remove any cards for units you don't have. You can use them many different ways. You can separate the divinities, shuffle and deal 5 face up. Separate the divinities, shuffle and deal 1 per player, and you have a number of RP costs. And as in 2, but turn over the top card of each deck at the start. Whenever one is recruited, recruit is normal, following the face up. This gives you another way just to recruit, and you're going to utilize this, and you're going to have a little chart here that will come with it that will tell you in what box everything comes in, which is really great, and it'll be color-coded, as you can see here, and you'll start to see the color coding of the recruitment of what will come in here. So let me go ahead and move this to the side. The cards got put in here because I was playing with them. So let's go ahead and take a look at what you're going to get. You're going to get one of these cards for each of them. So you can just kind of look at them and see what is available and what their quick look at what their stats are without having to pull everything out. So you're going to get one of these for each of these. I'm not going to go through these each individually because you can definitely see this, but this will give you one of these cards for everything that's in there in all of the sets. And you can just take out what you don't have, or if you have everything, then it's all here. But this will give you a way just to hand this to your friends, and you guys can kind of draft off of these. And like I said, this optional rule gives you a couple of different ways that you can draft now, and those will be utilized with all the stats right there. Very handy. Very, very cool. And then what you're going to have is these cards that will be utilized for the different recruitments that are in here. You can see that some of this will be for the different ones. You're going to have the different backs on the Hounds of Artemis that will be included, the Argonauts that will be included in this set, Meridons, I'm going to butcher some of this, Circe's Wolves, which are cool, the Giant Spiders, you have Toxotia, the Satyrs, the Spartoi, that will be included, and then you're going to start having the artwork that will be included for all of the characters. Let me set these aside and show you Atlas. The artwork is just phenomenal. These will be the cards that will be in your hand as you're able to recruit these, and Athena will be here with her owl. Keep in mind, once again, I'm going to keep repeating this, Atlas' mini does not come in the set, but everything that you need to play with him is. I just want to quickly just show you some of this artwork. There's Apollo. You're going to see this just phenomenal artwork. If you really want to see something, just pause it, and you'll be able to see this really close up. Icarus is really cool. You're kind of seeing the French ones right now. The English ones are exactly the same. I just haven't separated everything quite yet because I wanted to show you in this video until I put them in my big box. But you can see the artwork is just phenomenal in this game. I mean, it is just incredible. Look at that. Really, it's language independent as long as you can see the pictures and know who you're playing. I mean, this little bit right here, doesn't really mean anything. You can kind of see what's important is the stars. I tells you how many of those that will be in the deck. So the Phoenix is just incredible. And there are the Argonauts. You can see her wolves and the spiders. And these are the cards that will go in your hand. Once again, these are all in French, but the English ones are included. And they use the exact same artwork, they're just in English. And these are the ones that we've already showed you. So they just need to be separated, but those are the cards. The artwork is just going to blow you away. So now let's take a moment and we'll look at all the miniatures. We're going to dive into the miniatures now. I am not going to pretend whatsoever to be an expert on these names. I'm going to show you the best that I can, everything that's included. I'm going to show you the packaging that it comes in so you can see it, and I'll be able to take this off for you right away. What you're going to see when you open this up, and these are going to be the giant miniatures that you're going to see. If there's more than one of something, I'm probably just going to show you one of them and tell you how many comes in. So the first thing you're going to see is this Hound right here. He has a flat, not a lot of, it's almost like he's been shaved down. And you can see that he is action spot. This is pretty big. Not a lot of detail. You can kind of see the ribs poking out there. Not a huge amount of detail on him. You're going to get these giant wolves. These will be Circe's wolves. You can kind of see that you've seen some other ones in the alternative set that you have. But these are really good sculpts and a lot of hair coming off and the tail coming down through there. And it looks like you're going to get 2 of the hounds and 3 of the wolves. And you're going to have this gigantic guy. You can see the bald head pulling up. He's got like a piece of rubble there. He's very big. Something over there, and he's pointing away. Very impressive. Looks like he's got some heads over here that he's been collecting. Very nice. And then you're going to have this wolf howling up. Very impressive. I mean, look at this. Wow. Look at those forearms in the back of him. You can just see how phenomenal he is. And then you're going to get, let's see here, you're going to get some of these birds. Here's the Phoenix that will pop out. This is one of my favorite ones to play with. I don't know why. I've always liked the Phoenix. I've seen it in comics, and I've seen it in movies and the mythology. And I just always thought it was really cool. Once again, in Harry Potter, we're big Harry Potter fans. I've seen the Phoenix. And, I don't pretend to be an expert on mythology or anything, but I've always found it to be a fascinating creature, how it rebuilds and renews itself. And I do like playing with it quite a bit. Okay, the last 3 that we're going to have is going to be this giant creature right here. You can see the female with the scorpion body that it may be. You can see the claws coming out of her. She's just fantastic. Her face is put back up in there. as you can see. And this is just something phenomenal. Those that like to paint will want to paint these. You can see this one flying in on the Pegasus with this long. This is all one piece. It's a little thin, but it's not going to break off as long as you take care of it. These wings are solid as they come. I'm not as worried about that, but you can definitely see him flying in this action pose, which is fantastic. And the last one is the Griffon, which you're going to have the wings here. You can see the detail up through here, and it's very smooth on the back legs as it should be. It's up, kind of looking through its beak, and these are very, very sturdy, and I'm not scared about them falling off or breaking at all. And the leg protruding in action, the tail coming off, very, very sturdy. Not worried about that whatsoever. This giant mesh you see here is a ton of miniatures. I'll open this up just like this. You can see what's going to come out. Now you're going to see some rubble here, which you would get in the 3D. You would get more of this, but this gives you a little bit different shapes and stuff that you could utilize in your set instead of using some of the cardboard. So it's a nice little touch. You're going to get looks like 5 of the small ones and 5 of the big ones. You're going to get some of these little spiders. It looks like one of mine has fallen off there. So maybe not attached as well, but I'll have to pop that back in. But the little spider one is the smallest one you'll get, but you know, it's like a side piece to one of the characters. So that'll be right there. And then what we'll see is, let's take a look at the gods really fast. These big giant ones. You can see the bow coming through. It's just fantastic. A lot of details on the legs and the back. Looks phenomenal. She's getting ready to get that arrow out. She is ready to go. And then we'll see this one. Very queen-like. You can see the point right through there. She's got her robes going, the hair coming down. This is a fantastic miniature. Very big. Much bigger than some of these smaller ones that you've seen. And there's just so many miniatures included in this set. This one is ready to fight. You can see the double swords. She is ready. Still busting out right there. You can see that. Only covered in the front. And she is ready for action. And then we're going to see the giant lion, which is a magnificent piece. You see the sword poking out right there. He is ready to go. He's got things coming out. The wind is blowing as he's fighting. He is a phenomenal sculpt and really, really impressive. Very smooth on the back, but very rigid up front where he should be. Looks fantastic. We're going to have the Basilic here, the half snake. He is. Now, these always worry me. They're a little thin. I'm not worried about a lot of the pieces that come with this. A little thinner than normal, but it should hold up really well. You know, if adults and kids are playing this and using any kind of care. Some of these I worried about breaking, not necessarily with this set, but just miniatures in general. I don't worry about it as much here. You can see this one is just phenomenal. You can see the hands coming off with the flames, the snake. You can see the detail that goes into that. And even from behind, these things look just phenomenal. And you're going to have the 3 scaries here. You do not want to see these coming at you in the middle of the night. You can see the sculpts from behind. I think these are going to look particularly fantastic all painted up. They just look phenomenal to me, and I really like those quite a bit. Let's take a look at these giant snakes. We're going to have a couple snakes that will be popping up here. You can see the rubble underneath there. I got to tell you, this is very rigid. Like, you can feel the scales on this, which is just phenomenal with his little tongue. If you can see his tongue is pointed out. Great attention to detail. Now we're going to have this one, more dragon-esque, if you ask me, the snake. You can see the scales coming up. And this one feels lighter than the other one as he's going up and through. He's not in that attack mode as the other one was. And then we have this one, which has a horse's body. You can see the skull that he's been collecting on the side and the tail coming out. You can see some of the holes in him and that pelt that he has, I think. And you can see that. What an impressive looking helmet that he's wearing there. And he has more skulls around him there. And it looks like here that he has some kind of contraption there. I can't really tell what it is from the sculpt, but this is phenomenal right here. So that's going to be most of the big, gigantic ones. Let's take a look here at some of the more miniature ones. You can see that has the little Sharpie there holding some stuff up. Quite a bit of detail here. It just looks phenomenal. And then there's some kind of Valkyrie or something that's coming down with these winged ladies. Not a stitch of clothing on, but very scaly when you touch it. You can see the thorns in the back. Great detail. One thing I notice about these, they don't skip just from the appearance of this was sitting somewhere, but I mean, 360 all the way around. So let's keep going here. Take a look at this. This one is really cool how these just kind of pop out here. You can kind of see that. Very impressive. I mean, if you saw this thing, you would be petrified, of course. And I like this one pretty much. I always like characters with wings, like Angel from the X-Men. They just look kind of cool with me. The idea of flying is always fascinating me. But very cool. You can see all that detail in there. Even that facial detail with that facial expression that they have. And here comes some guys with swords. If you like guys with swords, the next 2 or 3, you can see he is posed and ready in a defensive and offensive position at the same time. Even these small ones have quite a bit of detail that people are going to be very, very impressed with. If you can see his metal there and all those little things, I don't see that in a lot. I'm not a miniatures gamer. I don't see a lot of detail like that in the kind of miniatures that I'm used to getting from people in board games. So these are super impressive to me. And this guy is very much more dwarf-like or Viking-like. You can see with his helmet and his axe that's up there. He's got a sword on the side, his boots. He's definitely, with that shield, more than likely wooden. Very, very much looking for combat. All right, we're down to our last few of this bunch. This is going to be your range worker. So he's going to be able to hit from the side quite a bit from an adjacent and a pretty queue of arrows there that's ready. But some defensive positioning on here. And then you're going to have the guy with the harp, which is great. A little bit different. Has a shield on the back. Ready for details. Looking very good. And here's one of my favorite ones. I like this guy with the helmet. Playing the instrument. The wind is blowing. He just looks phenomenal with the feet. Oh, that looks great. And these are the tiny, tiny ones. I mean, in comparison to some of the gigantic ones that you get. Another female character with the wind blowing. She is ready, angry. The clothes are going once again. These women never wear much clothing considering they're going to be fighting so much. And then you have the guy with the boulder. Excuse me, I don't know all their names. I don't have it in front of me. But the boulder's a big piece of plastic back there, and he's holding it up. You can see the strain on him. You can see the strain on his muscles and on his face, which I just think is a great little detail to add to the miniature. And then we're going to get a couple more guys. The Argonauts. And there's 2 of them in this set. I'll just show you one. See the detail on here. And around. So that's very, very good. So we'll close this up and we'll do the last batch. Here's the last batch of miniatures. You can see this thing is just full. A lot of these are going to repeat because you're going to have the little infantry sets that you're going to have. But I'll show you one of each, and then we'll get to the big, gigantic ones. Here will be the skeletons. Pay particular attention that you can see through these guys. You see my finger in the background? They're super skinny, but very, very durable. Look, so there's like half of him missing there. It's very cool. And it looks like you're going to get 3 of him. And then we get this satyr. If I'm pronouncing that correctly, you can see he's very, very powerful. Running, it's going to be the little infantry things that you'll add. And this is very, very durable. Much more durable than some of the skinnier ones that I showed you earlier. Get 3 of those. You get more of these shielded guys with swords. Ready to go in. Lots of detail here on this. For such, I don't say small, but compared to some of this that you get, you can just see the amount of care and detail. 3 of those. Looks like we have 4 of these skeletons, which will have different swords and different models, if you will. But you get 4 of these. And this is pretty durable. I mean, I'm hitting it pretty tough here. I'm having no bend or anything on it. And then we'll have one of these guys ready to fight in action. And you will see the detail here on the shield. I just think that's incredible. And you're going to see here that he's in action and ready to go. And very, very, very determined guy. So we'll take a look at this. It looks like we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these guys shooting off the arrows. And this is very, very, very smooth on the back. You can see the arrows coming out of there. Very good. And we're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. Looks like they're casting something here. Or throwing something at you. The face is just hitting in that cloak. But you can see the undead nature of this. You can see the little balls that are in there. Very, very cool. So you get 4 of those. These little dogs, you'll get 3 of these. And they are just creepy as all get out. Walking on that 1 foot, sneaking around. How would you like to see this in your home, in your attic in the middle of the night? That would be petrifying. And you're going to get 1 of her. You can see that she has this out. Got this orb or something in her hand. Very cool. Very elegant. Very elegant. So, and then we're going to have a warrior here. A female warrior, which is nice. Good to see. Once again, not fighting with very much clothes on, as most of the women did in this set, but man, she is fierce as can be. Okay, so let's get to the big one. So a lot of that was the smaller guys, fodder, if you will. They're going to be out there and fighting, but these are going to be the giant ones. These are the ones that you came to this video to see. And you see these legs, this rubble right here, and the spear coming up and the helmet. I mean, he is just ready to fight, and he's saying, bring it on if you want to. So, very powerful figure. I'm not as big on these snake pieces. There's quite a few in this series. I mean, they look fantastic, don't get me wrong. It just doesn't do a lot for me. It's not something I choose to play with. Maybe I don't know, there's just not my thing, but snakes kind of creep me out. This one right here is very, very nice. Look at this. Look at this hair. Wow. And this is solid. I mean, this isn't going to break off at all. You don't have to worry about this prickling off. You can see the double face there. Super creepy. Super creepy. The triple face. Oh, wow. Yeah. It's a great, great, great miniature. And here we go. You can see, let's take a look at his leg and this armor first. You can see building up the 24 pack that he has here. This whip that's coming out. I mean, this is fantastic. Can you see those spikes on the end there? This is just an impressive piece. And he is action. I mean, this is just phenomenal. I like that whip quite a bit. And you can see this guy. Hermes here. He's going to be known for his speed. He's got his staff here. He is ready to run. His thing is burning up here. You can see due to his speed. He just looks phenomenal. Lots of details here. I can't tell you, like, the texture of these is just fantastic to look at. A couple more here. We're going to have this guy shooting his arrow. Great from range. You can see the arrows that are here. The long hair that goes into the robe. Flowing. Fantastic. And a lot of detail there. And just the action sequence. You know, he's shooting down as if from high. And the last one is really cool. Going to attract a lot of people to this one. He's made out of rock. And you just see all little stuff here. And like this bends but doesn't break. It's just fantastic. And he is just phenomenal to look at. And this is one that, you know, if you were painting, I'm sure some really talented people can make this look great. But this little thing would probably look just as good being this gray color. Maybe a little bit on it. And I'm sure people can do phenomenal jobs with this, but it just looks great. So let's talk about this set really fast. So Mythic Battles Pantheon Pandoras box is a great set. If you want bang for your buck and you want miniatures and you want different people to play with and you just want all that stuff in here and you want more variety, this is where you should start. Pandora's box is a really good place. I put this number 2. I do like the Titans expansion a little bit better because I like the campaign that came into it. But this gives you the divinity cards that you can add. It gives you the extra way to recruit with those extra cards you have. This is what you probably want to buy if you want to fill out your collection on a budget. This is the one where you would start. You have all that extra stuff, all those extra characters to play with. This is where you would start, hands down. My copy doesn't seem to come with a new campaign. It doesn't come with any new scenarios to play with, but it gives you the variety, new ways to play with the divinity cards. It gives you the recruitment cards that you can utilize, and it gives you additional miniatures, which is great. This is a phenomenal bargain for what you're going to pay. I can't comment on what's going to be on the secondary market, but man, the miniatures that you get, the fun that you get in this box, all the different characters that you get, and the new gameplay models that you're going to get with the divinity cards and the recruitment is just fantastic. If you got this with the base game, you would be set up for life. You have a lot of play to go in this game and a lot of mixing and matching and what you want to do. If you like skirmishes, this is probably where, you know, this could be really fun because you can have a lot of people you can add in and out. If you like skirmishes, this is definitely where I would go with this. This is a good set. It doesn't really have any solo play in this box, but there is a lot of characters you can utilize in the solo game. And that's why you get a lot of different characters. And that's really great for this game because you want more. And this delivers. And the miniatures that you get are just beautiful. And the additional gameplay and all the little things that you can add in with this just adds to a lot of games. So this is one that I would highly recommend you getting. It's top 1 or 2, depending on what you're looking for from this game. And for many people, this will be the expansion to get. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel. Lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing.